Hello class. So for our first lesson, I would just like to kind of go over some algebraic concepts because I know it's probably been a while since we've done some algebra. So let's just get into it. First, let's say we have something that looks like this. We have a 4 plus 2 divided by 2 plus 1. And I want to simplify this expression, this algebraic expression. It looks a little challenging, but it really isn't as challenging as it seems, as long as we follow some steps here. So first what we want to do is we want to simplify the top, then simplify the bottom, and then divide if we can. So let's write those steps down. So steps. Step 1, simplify top. Step 2, simplify bottom. And then step 3, we're going to divide if possible. And I say if possible because sometimes we won't be able to divide, so we would just leave it as a fraction. Possible. Okay. So let's just review what a fraction is. I know fractions aren't necessarily your guys' favorite things to work with, but fractions really is just division. So it's just telling me to take 4 plus 2 and divide it by 2 plus 1. So let's go through these steps and simplify. So the top, 4 plus 2, well, that gives us 6. And the bottom, 2 plus 1 is 3. Well, the 6 over 3 is just saying take 6 and divide it by 3. So my question is, what is 6 divided by 3? And that is 2. So that is our simplified version of this. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say that we have something like 5 plus 3 divided by 4 plus 4. Well, 5 plus 3 here, that is going to give us 8. 4 plus 4 we know to be 8. And now we're going to divide. So what is 8 divided by 8? That's just 1. Anything divided by itself is always 1. So this thing simplifies to 1. It's really not that bad. Now let's try one where we can't divide, because all of these we've been able to divide up until this point. So now let's say if we have 3 plus 12 divided by 4. Well, notice here the bottom is actually already simplified for us, so we don't actually need to simplify the bottom here. It's already simplified. So we're just going to simplify the top. 3 plus 12 is going to give us 15 divided by 4. Now let's think about what this is telling us mathematically. This is saying we want to take 15 and divide by 4. But we know that 15 isn't divisible by 4. So we're just going to leave our answer just like this, as 15 over 4. And that is okay. That is the most simplified we can get this thing. Sometimes they won't look as pretty as 2 or 1. And we'll just have to leave them as a fraction. Now, sometimes we can reduce fractions, right? Say if we had something like, let's say if we simplify, where we have 3 plus 3 divided by 10 plus 2. And we simplify this, well, we do the tops, 3 plus 3 is 6. We do the bottom, oh, that's a 6. We do the bottom, 10 plus 2 is 12. And, well, 12 doesn't go into 6 evenly, but we can reduce this fraction here. And that is, we want to get it as simple as possible. So what I ask myself is, what number can go into both 6 and 12 through multiplication? And we want to pick the largest number. And in this case, the largest number is 6. 6 goes into 6, 6 goes into 12. So we want to divide the top by 6. 6 divided by 6 is just 1. And we want to divide the bottom by 6. 12 divided by 6 is just 2. So this really boils down to 1/2. Now, I am not huge on reducing fractions, but some people are. It's good to know how to do it, but I won't necessarily be hounding you guys on that. So let's now shift our attention to something a little different. Well, I guess quite different. Just another kind of algebraic skill that we learned at one point, but we may kind of need to touch up on, and that is the distributive property. So the distributive property, we use it when we have something that looks like this. Say we have, let's see, 4 times 2x plus 1. Now we have two things multiplied to each other, and one of the things we're multiplying has two terms. Now remember, terms are numbers that are separated by addition or subtraction. This 2x is a term, this 1 is a term. Well, how do we do this? If you recall, we want to multiply this 4 to both of these terms. So we're going to distribute that 4, meaning we're going to multiply 4 times 2x, and we're going to multiply 4 times 1. Let's see what that gives us. 4 times 2x, well, let's just kind of take this a little slowly. I like to do the numbers first. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. This doesn't have an x, but this does, so it's just going to be 8x. So 4 times 2x is 8x. And then 4 times 1, well, that's just 4, so plus 4. Now, at this point, we want to ask ourselves, can we simplify this any further? And we can't, actually. Because remember, we can't add numbers that have variables and numbers that don't have variables. So this is as simplified as this thing will get, 8x plus 4. Let's try another one. Let's say that we have something like 3 times 5x minus 2. Well, again, we're just going to use the distributive property. We're going to multiply this 3 to the 5x and this 3 to the negative 2. So 3 times 5x is going to give us, well, 3 times 5 is 15, and we just have an x, so 15x. 3 times negative 2, make sure to watch your signs, very important. 3 times negative 2 is going to be negative 6. And again, our terms, remember separated by addition or subtraction, are not alike. One has an x and one doesn't. So we can't combine them, so our answer is just 15x minus 6. That's the most simplified version. Let's go into something a little more challenging, but not terribly challenging. Let's say that we have something like 2x times x minus 3. So notice that when we distribute this 2x, we're going to be multiplying two x's together. Let's remember what that looks like. So let's write a little note for ourselves off to the side. Remember. X times x, if we remember, is going to give us x squared. Now, why is that? Well, when we multiply variables together with exponents, now I know these don't have exponents. Exponents are these small little numbers up on top. When we don't have exponents, we just assume them to be 1. So when we multiply variables together with exponents, we add the exponents. So add exponents. Oh, that should be an n. When multiplying. So x times x is x squared. let's say I have something like x squared times x. Well, there's an invisible 1 up here, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so it would be x cubed. Right? Or likewise, x squared times x squared. X squared times x squared, that's 2 plus 2 is going to give us x to the 4th, and so on. So that's just a nice little tip there to remember. So let's bring our attention back here. Well, we have a 2x times x, and looking at the numbers first, 2 times, well, remember, if a number's not written in front of a variable, we just assume it to be 1. So 2 times 1 is just 2. And then we have x times x, which is x squared. So this can give us 2x squared. And then here we have 2x times negative 3. Well, 2 times a negative 3, that's going to give us a negative 6. And then we have our x. So this is our answer here. And you might be asking yourselves, well, these two terms both have x. Why can't we combine them? And the reason behind that is because this is an x squared and this is an x. Those are two different things. So we can't combine those. Okay? That's all I have for you. So if you have any questions, I'll be here all day. Just let me know. Make sure to also do the assignment. I recommend that you do it on a piece of paper and then put your answers into the Word document for me. Have a good day, everybody.